So for number 6, and actually for any of these linear problems, if you solve for y equals mx plus b, or in other words, y equals, right? Then you can use the y equals mx plus b formula, okay? That is a formula that we can, from now on, use for the rest of the year. Not only the rest of the year, but all the way through calculus, okay? I'm going to be teaching calculus today, some y equals mx plus b, because calculus is all about slope, all right? So in here, as we get into chapter 4, right, we're going to learn a little bit of calculus, okay? But for right now, we're going to keep it simple and just talk about y equals m, which is the slope, x plus b, which is the y-intercept. Now y and x are two variables, right? Two variables that create what we call a coordinate. And that's why we were able to fill in the coordinate section. Remember when we did the t-chart, we said x and y, and we said, hey, when x is 1, y is this. When x is 2, y is that. Right? Okay? And we can still do that to graph this problem. All right? But there is a much easier method. Okay? And so the first thing is get your graph down, and you want to make sure what? What's the most important thing about the graph? Anyone, somebody, one buddy?
The lines.
Yeah, the lines need to be what?
Same.
The same, yeah. The same. So this one doesn't look quite the same. Let's bust that out a little bit. Right? But we want to keep them as close to the same as possible. That's why using a graph paper is better for you, right? Now, the other thing is we want to understand what slope is, right? So don't forget the base. Remember, negative slope just means it goes down from left to right. A positive slope means it's going to go up from left to right. That's a positive slope. Okay? No slope. No slope. That's like this. This has no slope. Straight up and down. That's a no solution. No slope. Okay? So that's when x equals something. You'll see it go straight up and down. X equals 3. It's going to go straight up and down at 3. Okay? Y equals. Okay? That's going to be a 0 slope. Right? So those are two very important slopes to remember. 0 slope. So y equals 3 would be right here. Okay? Now, and this was already set up to y equals mx plus b. It's what we call y-intercept form. Okay? The y-intercept. I suck it. Intercept form. Okay? So it's already set up. In other words, y equals mx plus b. Now in this case, the b is 0. So it's plus 0, right? If I add 0 to that, nothing's going to change, right? So we already know what our b is. And that's our starting point, remember? So b is your starting point. Alright? And from b, that's the y-intercept. That's where this line crosses the y-intercept. So when y is 0, right? Now if it would have been plus 8, I would have been up here at 8. But it's 0, so I'm down here at 0, okay? And then I want to look at my slope. Now remember, this is your m, and it says negative 1/2. And we want to remember, m is equal to negative 1/2. Well, that doesn't quite help me. Where is the negative? Is it in the top or is it in the bottom? right? And if you remember correctly, it can be both, right? So you can have M, let's do it in blue. You can have M equals -1/2, right? -1/2. So Malia, when it's -1, that is my rise. So how would I rise negatively? Would I go up or would I go down? What do you suppose? Go up negatively? Yeah, right? Does that make sense though? So if I'm negative, rise would be down. Does that make sense? So if it's negative, up or down means down. Does that make sense? Okay, so this would be down 1. Okay? Now, the bottom is your run. Okay? And if I'm running positively, am I going right or am I going left? Morgan. Chad. If I'm running positively, am I going right or am I going left?
Right.
Right. So I'm going to go right 2. Okay? Now this stuff is really important when you start talking about going up 1, left 1, right 1, all that stuff. This is really important. Because we're going to talk about parent functions later on. Okay? And they're going to be moving up, down, left, right. Okay? But right now, I'm going to rise down 1, right? Down 1 and right 2. So that means I'm right here. You feel me? Down 1 and right 2. Does that make sense? Josh? Okay? Alright, now, since that makes sense, let's do something really funky. Okay? Real funkadelic right here. Gonna break down. No? Could I have 1 over -2? Isn't that the same as a -1/2? 1 over -2? That's still -1/2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if it's a positive rise, am I going up or down, Malia? Positive rise. Good job, Josh. Up. Up, how much? 1. So up 1. Okay? Now, on the bottom, that's your run, right? So run means left or right. So if it's negative, if I'm going left or am I going right? Morgan. Chad. Josh. Left or right?
Left.
Left. I'm going to go left. How much? 2. Left 2. Okay? That means if I go up 1 and left 2, that would be my point. And do you see how all of those are on the same line? So now my line is really going through like this. And that's how you graph it. Right? So how many of you have that graphed right now? 2 out of 2, 4, 6, 7. That's not good. So let's put your phones up, right? I'm trying. I really am. I love them very much. But if they can't put their phone down to listen, or they can't wake up to watch, I can't help them. And so then you'll go home and you'll watch this and you'll go, oh, maybe I get it, maybe I don't. Right? Okay? That's our graph. That's all I'm asking for. That's it. Number 6. Done.